In this next video, we're going to be talking about the area of a sector. So first some vocabulary. A sector of a circle is the region bounded by two radii of the circle and their intercepted arc. So for instance, this shaded region would be a sector. You kind of think of it like if you're having a pizza slice would be a sector of that circle. And so we have a formula to find the area of a sector, and that is found by the ratio of the area of a sector of a circle to the area of the whole circle, which remember is pi r squared, is equal to the ratio of the measure of the intercepted arc to 360. So really similar to what we did with circumference, but now we just have the area of the sector over the area of the circles. So remember, A is equal to pi r squared. And we have the measure of AB over 360. And then you can also, if you're just finding the area of the circle or the sector, you can multiply that area onto the other side to get this equation as well. So let's go through a few examples. So I want to find each indicated measure, and I'm going to round to the nearest tenth. So this first one, I am wanting to find the area of sector UTV. So my sector UTV, that's going to be this orange, just following the letters. You see that's going to be the orange sector. And so I know from my formula that the area of sector let's not write that all out. But the area of sector UTV is just going to be equal to the measure of UV, because that is my intercepted arc here, over 360 times pi r squared. And that's the formula that we looked at on the previous page. So plugging in all the information, I see that the measure of arc UV is 70 degrees for 360 times pi r squared, and I see that my radius here is 8 inches. And so I have 70 over 360 times 8 squared is 64, so I have times 64 pi. And now multiplying across, I have 70 times 64, and I get 4480 pi divided by 360. So I'm going to go ahead and type that over into Desmos. So I have 4480 pi divided by 360, and rounding to the nearest hundredth, I get 39.1. So this is going to be approximately 39.1 inches squared. Okay, let's try another one. Here I want to find the area of the orange sector. So I want to find this area. So I know that this is going to be equal to the measure of my intercepted arc, which is EF, over 360 times pi r squared. Measure of arc EF, I see that's from the central angle is 120 over 360 times pi r, my radius here is 14, so I have 14 squared. Fourteen squared, same thing as 14 times 14, and I get 196 pi. 196 times 120, I get 23,520 pi divided by 360. And so heading back over to Desmos, I'm going to replace the 4480 with 23,520. And rounding to the nearest hundredth, I get that the area is 205.25 feet squared. Okay, now this next one I see I have the very same image, but now I want to find the area of the blue sector. And so the area of the blue sector, that is going to be equal to the measure of arc EGF over 360 times pi r squared. However, I am not given that measure, but remember that all of the arcs of a circle add up to 360, so I can find the measure of arc EGF by subtracting measure of arc EF from 360. So I have 360 minus 120, and I get 240. So that means that this measure here is 240 degrees. So I can go ahead and plug that in. So I have 240 over 360 times pi r squared, which we already know is going to be 196 pi from our previous problem. 196 times 240, I get 47,040 pi divided by 360. And then typing that into Desmos, I get that's going to be approximately 410.5 feet squared.